specifically what we want to connect is anytime someone books a meeting inside of Pitchit, we want that to integrate back to GoHighLevel so that you don't have to deplatform. Pitchit's AI agents can pull leads out of GoHighLevel, qualify them, and then send all the data back to GoHighLevel as your system of record. So the source here is going to be Pitchit as your trigger. The trigger event, now we've got a whole bunch, but I have shot videos on how to do all the other ones. Today we're just going to look at new meeting booked and the new, and then you'll choose your account, click connect to new account. If you don't have the API key, go back to Pitchit, choose your name, click integrations and copy it, and then go ahead and paste it here. And it will take you back to Zapier with the account selected that you're integrating. Click continue. Now this part, it's going to ask which campaign. Now for the purposes of today's video, I'm just going to choose all, but it does let you choose specific campaigns. This is important because in GoHighLevel, remember there are sub-accounts, and so Pitchit supports that. If you have a bunch of client accounts in Pitchit, which we actually call groups, so if you're going under your team, we support groups. GoHighLevel calls it sub-accounts. You can create a group of, let's say, company X, and let's say this is like a client of yours or a department of yours, and then you can choose who, as a member, you want to add. What that's going to do is just like in GoHighLevel, it's only going to let them see the information that you make available to that group. And so you can have hundreds of customers as users put into like groups, 20 different groups, and then you could have a campaign that group X sees, and it could be like campaigns ABC go to group X, and campaigns DEFG go to group Y, and campaign H goes to group Z. That we do support that. And so that's why that step is important. If you want only specific meetings booked from specific workflows to go to specific sub-accounts in GoHighLevel, you can absolutely do that. Don't choose select all, choose the specific campaign. In this case, I'm going to do all because we only have one group in Pitchit and only one sub-account in GoHighLevel. And it's just a little easier on this demo to do it, and I think you can reverse engineer and customize it as you see fit. So I'm going to do a test. It looks like we're doing a test. John Wick. John Wick has booked a meeting in Pitchit with your team, and we want GoHighLevel to see that. Now, this is where you'll get hung up because GoHighLevel doesn't have a Zap. They actually call it Lead Connector, and that's white labeled for a reason. They want their agencies to be able to white label this stuff. Under Action Event, what we're going to do is we're going to add or update an opportunity as step one. And this is another place you'll get stuck. So there's a lot of areas to get stuck with the lead connector part. You'll have to connect a new account. And they give you this URL, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, that URL didn't work. It broke every time I entered it. And then I found out that the API key is under settings at the agency level, API keys. And then I got stuck again because I kept copying this API key and pasting it. I kept getting this error. And so I kept creating a new one and didn't know what was going on. And then I found out that the sub-account API key is the only way that they integrate with Zapier at the sub-account level. And so then I went to settings in the sub-account. I couldn't find the API key, and I was getting frustrated. I realized business profiles where it's stored there. And so they've got it there. You can copy it there, paste it, and then it will sync the account in Zapier and take you back to Zapier. The next part, mapping is important because if there's no opportunity that exists right now with the lead that booked a meeting in Pitchit, it will create an opportunity and GoHighLevel using this integration. But most of you probably sent us the lead in the first place from GoHighLevel. Pitchit qualified it. And so you probably just want us to update an already existing lead. So mapping, it's important. Map first name to first name, last name to last name. I don't have full name in this campaign, but if you do, and it's not available inside of the feed, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, click first name, add a space bar, and do last name. I'm not going to do that because we don't really care about that being a separate line item. Map phone number to phone number and email to email. That tells GoHighLevel which account to search for. And if they can find a John Wick with that PII, it's going to update the lead instead of creating a new one. Mark it as a lead. And then the next thing is we want to make sure that we get the notes in here. And so this person basically booked a meeting. And so we want to make sure that the opportunity moves to a different stage than where it's at today. And so I'm going to add the notes. So when is the meeting, date and time, right? Who's the calendar owner? What is the meeting link? Those might be important to you guys. And so I'm going to return space and make this look pretty with some headers. Meeting date and time, calendar, owner, meeting link, right? Those are all things you can put into the notes of the deal, which will actually get stored at the contact level. And then it's asking you, where do you want to move this deal? Now, I created inside of GoHighLevel really interesting names for my stages. And I say they're interesting because most of you probably won't do this, but I think for the purposes of this demo, it's helpful. New lead, warm lead, hot lead, cold, or lost lead, right? That makes it easier to map pitch it because in this demonstration, what I'm trying to show is that someone's booked a meeting, so they're probably a hot lead. And so this is the test pipeline that I created. Under pipelines, I call it test pipeline, right? And then the select stage part, I'm going to choose hot lead because someone who books a meeting after talking to an AI agent going back and forth, that's probably a hot lead. And so I named my stages that way so that you guys could actually see exactly what I was trying to do and why. You don't have to do it this way though. You could change it to something else like meeting booked as a step or like opportunity, sales qualified lead. Those are all ways that you could organize it and change the stage. But I think for the purposes of this demo, this is definitely a hot lead, so I just called the stage hot lead. Click continue and run a quick test. John Wick should be a deal that gets moved to the hot stage, and it is right here. And so I already had done a test and moved John Wick to hot, but I want to show a refresh here to show you that's not creating a new deal. And we don't want that to happen. It's just updating the deal that already exists. And since it's a duplicate, it's not going to do anything for it. This is actually what you want to happen. If you guys want to see, let's do like another one. Let's do lead A, test John, test Wick. So a different deal altogether. We're going to continue with that record. And then under the configure, we're going to push a new one through that doesn't have a deal there yet. And so we should now see a separate deal getting created inside of opportunities. Test John, test Wick has now been changed. And the reason for it is it actually had the same email and phone number. So what it did is it updated the deal. It changed the first name and the last name, and it would have changed the stage if we wanted it to. And so those are all basically things that it can do. It can create net new deals if they don't exist, but both of the test leads that we had already exist inside the funnel. Let's do one more fun thing. So let's say your team comes in and like moves it back to warm after some work. Let's run another test. And so Pitchit's talking to this lead, talking. They book a meeting, and we want to move them back to hot again. We'll retest the step, and the AI agent should have moved it back to hot. I'm going to give this a quick refresh. And there it is. It went back to hot automatically with no manual labor. So yeah, and so if you want to update the contact, choose lead connector again. And in this case, don't choose add or update opportunity. Do add or update the contact. And choose, now you've got two options. Choose new meeting booked and Pitchit, map first name. New meeting booked and Pitchit, map the last name. You can do full name if you want. I'm not going to. Phone number, let's do email. Now, I don't know if you care about this or not, but the reason that I'm doing it in both is because I want to show that you can do it in both. So you can add information to the contact, or you can change the opportunity stage. I would suggest doing both. So I like adding a new opportunity stage whenever someone books a meeting, because I do think that's a meaningful step in action that a user takes. But then I also like adding information to the contact. So what's the meeting link? What's the calendar owner? What's the meeting date and time? We ran through this in my second step already, but I just want to show that if you don't want to update the calendar, or sorry, if you don't want to update the opportunity stage and you just want to update the contact, you can still get the exact same information and add it there that you got from the second step, but you don't have to move the deal stage if you don't want to. So I'm going to do a quick test, and it's going to show up under test John Wick, right? So it'll be under the contact John Wick. And if you go to notes, you should now see the test. So 953, 953. I'm going to give it a real quick refresh. Yeah, here it is. Test John Wick, meeting date and time, meeting link. So it's been updated, right? And so that's done. If you publish it, You'll be finished up. What that does is it connects anytime an AI agent books a meeting with one of your leads, it will automatically add an opportunity or update an opportunity, move that opportunity to a different stage, and update information on the contact with the meeting date and time, the link, and what channel that particular, and which calendar owner is going to be assigned to that particular meeting that they booked. And that makes it so you don't have to deplatform from GoHighLevel, and you can allow Pitchit's AI agents to pull leads out of GoHighLevel, qualify and book meetings with them, and then sync all the data back to GoHighLevel. Thanks.